From training tanks to legendary heavy armor, the Wehrmacht fielded an unprecedented variety of armored vehicles between 1939 and 1945. This video documents every tank, tank destroyer, assault gun, and armored vehicle that saw combat service. 58 different machines that shaped the course of World War II. Light tanks. Let's begin with the light tanks that formed Germany's initial armored strength. Panzer I, the training tank forced into combat, armed with twin 7.92mm MG-13 machine guns, powered by a 57-horsepower Krupp engine, approximately 1,500 dilt, saw service Poland through France. 13mm armor proved inadequate against anti-tank weapons. Formed bulk of 1939 tank divisions despite design limitations. Panzer II, the stopgap that became essential. 20mm KWK-30 autocannon, 140 horsepower Maybach engine, over 1,800 produced. Primary blitzkrieg tank in France. Radio in every vehicle enabled superior coordination. Outclassed by 1942, but chassis remained valuable. Converted to Marder tank destroyers. Panzer II Luchs, late war reconnaissance specialist. Fast at 60 km per hour. 5-cylinder Maybach engine. Armed with 20mm cannon. Only 100 produced from 1943. Overlapping road wheels, improved suspension. Intended for scouting ahead of panzer divisions. Limited production due to resource shortages. Panzer 35T, Czech acquisition following annexation. Skoda built with pneumatic transmission, 37mm gun. Around 220 served German forces. Mechanically complex, but reliable in early campaigns. Distinctive gap behind bogey wheels. Participated in Poland and France invasions before obsolescence. Panzer 38T, best light tank of early war. 37mm gun, proven reliability. Over 1,400 built for Wehrmacht. Served all fronts through 1942. Robust chassis became foundation for Hetzer tank destroyer. Mechanically superior to German-designed light tanks. Production continued in variants. Medium tanks. Moving on to the medium tanks that formed the armored backbone. Panzer III, primary tank fighter designed with 3-man turret. Initially 37mm gun, upgraded to 50mm. Approximately 5,700 produced. 12-cylinder, 300 horsepower engine. Outclassed by T-34, but served through 1943. Set standard for crew ergonomics. Chassis converted to assault guns. Panzer IV, true workhorse of the Wehrmacht. Only German tank in production entire war. Originally 75mm short howitzer. Upgraded to long L-48 gun. Over 8,800 built. Maybach 300 horsepower engine. Served every front, repeatedly up-armored. Most versatile German tank design. Panther, direct response to Soviet T-34 shock. 75mm KWK-42 L-70 gun. 700 horsepower Maybach engine. Sloped armor. 45-ton weight, 55 km per hour speed. Superior penetration to Tiger's 88mm. Widely considered best medium tank design. Heavy tanks. Now the legendary heavy tanks that struck fear into Allied forces. Tiger I, icon of terror. 88mm KWK-36 gun from famous anti-aircraft weapon. 700 horsepower engine, 54-ton weight. Only 1,347 produced, August 1942 to August 1944. Could destroy T-34 from 3 kilometers. Virtually impervious frontally, but maintenance intensive and slow. Tiger II, apex predator weighing 70 tons. Long 88mm KWK-43 gun, most powerful anti-tank weapon on turret. Approximately 485 produced before war's end. Combined Tiger armor with Panther's sloped design. Could kill any tank from 2 kilometers. Plagued by mechanical failures. Tank destroyers. The Panzerjäger and Jagdpanzer vehicles, designed for tank hunting. Panzerjäger I, first German tracked tank destroyer. Czech 47mm anti-tank gun on obsolete Panzer I chassis. Open-topped, minimal protection. Around 200 converted 1940 to 1941. Proved mobile tank hunting concept viable. Crew exposed to elements and shrapnel. Retired by 1943. Marder II, Panzer II chassis mounting 75mm PaK-40 gun. Open fighting compartment. High silhouette. Over 1,200 produced from 1942. Gave Wehrmacht mobile heavy punch on Eastern Front. vulnerable to artillery and aircraft, served until war's end despite limitations. Marder III, most numerous Marder variant, Czech 38T chassis with captured Soviet 76mm or German 75mm guns, approximately 2,500 built. Workhorse of anti-tank battalions mid-war. Open-top design, exposed crew. Effective ambush weapon against Soviet armor. Hetzer, small, deadly, easily concealed. 75mm gun on widened 38T chassis. Highly sloped armor. Low 2.1 meter height. Around 2,800 produced from 1944. Cost-effective tank destroyer. Ambush nightmare for Allied crews. Served post-war in multiple armies. Jagdpanzer IV. Low-profile tank hunter, nicknamed Guderian's Duck. Long-barreled 75mm gun, initially L-48, then L-70. Around 2,000 built on Panzer IV chassis. Deadly defensive weapon, could engage while hidden. Nose heavy wobble when moving. Effective throughout 1944 to 1945. Nashorn, the rhinoceros with 88mm reach. Long 88mm Pak 43-1 on hybrid Geschützwagen chassis. Only 494 produced. Virtually no armor, open-topped, relied entirely on extreme range sniping capability. Could penetrate 200mm armor at 1,000 meters. Height made concealment difficult. Jagdpanther, best tank destroyer of the war. Panther chassis with 88mm Pak 43-1 gun. Around 415 built from 1944. Perfect balance, speed, armor, firepower. Could relocate quickly, absorb hits. Limited production due to resource shortages and strategic bombing. Ferdinand, Elefant, bunker buster on rejected Porsche Tiger hulls. Massive 200mm frontal armor, 88mm gun. Only 90 built for Kursk offensive. Petrol-electric drive, mechanically unreliable. Initially lacked hull machine gun, vulnerable to infantry. Later retrofitted with defensive armament. Jagdtiger, heaviest operational armored vehicle at 71 tons. Colossal 128mm Pak 44 gun, could destroy anything. Only 88 produced, late war. Frequent breakdowns from weight and fuel shortages. More loss to mechanical failure than combat. Logistical nightmare, rarely combat ready. Assault guns. Continuing with the Sturmgeschütz vehicles, Germany's most produced armor category. StuG III, most produced German AFV with 9,400 built. Long 75mm StuH 40 L48 gun from Ostwind onward. Maybach 300 horsepower engine, 24-ton weight. Statistically destroyed more Allied tanks than Tigers and Panthers combined. Cost-effective at 82,500 Reichsmarks. Served all fronts. StuH 42, assault howitzer variant with 105mm gun. Built for infantry support role. Approximately 1,200 produced from October 1942. Same StuG III chassis and superstructure. Fired high explosive shells against fortifications. Complemented long-barrel tank destroyers in mixed battalions. StuG IV. StuG superstructure on Panzer IV chassis. Around 1,100 produced from late 1943. Created after bomb damage at Balket plant. Same 75mm L48 gun as StuG III. Maintained production when Panzer III chassis unavailable. Served identically to StuG III. Sturmpanzer IV Brummbär, urban warfare specialist. Short 150mm StuH 43 gun for demolishing buildings. Approximately 300 built on Panzer IV chassis. Heavy armor, boxy superstructure. Designed specifically for city fighting. Large caliber optimized for destroying fortifications and bunkers at close range. Sturmtiger, rare beast with 380mm rocket mortar. Built on recovered Tiger I chassis, only 18 produced. Designed demolishing entire city blocks with single shot. Used during Warsaw Uprising. Massive weight, limited ammunition capacity. Engineering extremity of desperate late war period. Self-propelled artillery. Next, mobile artillery pieces providing fire support for advancing divisions. Sturmpanzer I Bison, first SPG experiment, 150mm SIG.33 heavy infantry gun on tiny Panzer I chassis. Only 38 built early war. Comically top-heavy, overloaded small chassis. provided mobile heavy firepower despite impracticality. Retired after France campaign. Wespe, the Wasp on Panzer II chassis. 105mm LFH-18 howitzer, approximately 680 produced. Fast, mobile artillery supporting panzer divisions, could shoot and scoot effectively. Maintained pace with advancing armor. Served all fronts through war's end, providing immediate fire support. Hummel, the Bumblebee with 150mm punch. Heavy SFH-18 howitzer on hybrid Panzer III or IV chassis. Around 714 built from 1943. Delivered devastating indirect fire. Limited ammunition storage required frequent resupply. Served eastern and western fronts. Open fighting compartment vulnerable. Grille, the Cricket mounting 150mm SIG-33, Czech 38T chassis, approximately 200 built. Gave infantry units direct fire capability against fortifications. Compact design, relatively low profile, served primarily Eastern Front. Replaced earlier improvised heavy gun carriers. Flak Panzers, now the anti-aircraft vehicles protecting columns from Allied air superiority. Flak Panzer 38T, interim anti-aircraft vehicle, single 20mm Flak 38 gun on 38T chassis rear. Around 140 produced, 1943-1944. Limited armor protection left crew dangerously exposed. Insufficient firepower against Allied fighter bombers, replaced by more capable designs rapidly. Flak Panzer IV, Wirbelwind, the Whirlwind with quad punch, 4 20mm Flak 38 guns and open hexagonal turret, only 100 produced 1944. Created devastating wall of lead against low-flying aircraft, also effective against soft ground targets. Distinctive appearance, limited production. Flak Panzer IV, Ostwind, improved with single 37mm Flak 43, approximately 45 built late 1944. Engaged aircraft at longer ranges than quad 20mm. Hexagonal turret similar to Wirbelwind, better penetration against armored targets, insufficient numbers to affect air superiority situation. Armored half-tracks and prime movers, moving to the versatile half-tracks that defined mobile warfare doctrine. SDKFC 250, light half-track for reconnaissance and command. 3-ton class, shortened chassis, over 6,600 produced in 20-plus variants. Compact, agile, multiple specialized roles. Mounted machine guns, mortars, or radios. Served reconnaissance units and battalion headquarters. Unarmored top vulnerable. SDKFC 251, Hanomag, iconic battle taxi of Panzer Grenadiers. Over 15,000 produced, most common German half-track. Sloped armor protected infantry deploying into battle. 20 variants including command, mortar, rocket launcher versions. Kept infantry mobile with advancing armor. Served all fronts. SDKFC 7, 8-ton medium prime mover. Crucial for towing 88mm flak guns and heavy howitzers. Approximately 12,000 built throughout war. Theater-style seating for gun crews. Common sight all fronts. Reliable workhorse for artillery transport. Half-tracked mobility over difficult terrain. SDKFZ 9 FAMO, heavy lifter for tank recovery. 18-ton half-track, approximately 2,500 built. Designed recovering damaged tanks from battlefield. Often required multiple FAMOs chained together for Tigers. Essential for German mobile warfare doctrine. Without recovery vehicles, losses multiplied. SDKFZ 10, light artillery tractor. 1-ton half-track towing POC-36 and POC-38 anti-tank guns. Around 14,000 produced. Nimble, mass-produced to mechanized lighter artillery units. Transported gun crews and ammunition. Essential for rapid deployment of defensive anti-tank guns. SDKFZ 11, standard medium artillery tractor. 3-ton class, approximately 9,000 built. Towed field howitzers and Nebelwerfer rocket launchers. Bridged gap between light and heavy prime movers. Reliable cross-country mobility. Served with artillery battalions throughout war. SDKFZ-2, Kettenkrad, motorcycle track hybrid. Unique design for paratroopers. Around 8,300 produced. Towed light guns. Navigated terrain stopping wheeled vehicles. Excellent mud performance on Eastern Front. Compact, maneuverable. Could carry 3 personnel plus equipment. Production continued post-war. Opel Maltier, Mule converting trucks to half-tracks. Standard Opel Blitz with Panzer I tracks replacing rear wheels. Approximately 4,000 converted facing Russian mud. Logistical lifeline when wheeled vehicles immobilized. Simple field conversion, maintaining cargo capacity. Essential Eastern Front supply vehicle. Armored reconnaissance vehicles. Next, the armored cars providing eyes and ears for advancing formations. SDKFZ-222, light four-wheeled scout. 20mm KWK-30 cannon in open turret. Around 990 produced through 1943. Fast, agile on roads. Angled armor body. Served reconnaissance battalions early war. Light armor vulnerable to heavy weapons. Gradually replaced by heavier types. SDKFZ-231. Heavy, 8-wheeled armored car. Complex suspension-enabled rough terrain crossing. Approximately 600 built. Featured 2 driver positions, front and rear. Allowed rapid escape without turning around. 20mm cannon armament. Mechanically complex, maintenance intensive. Impressive cross-country performance. SDKFZ-234 Puma. Best armored car of the war. 8 wheels, 50mm KWK-39 gun and enclosed turret. Around 100 produced 1943 to 1945. Combined high speed with serious firepower. Could outfight Allied reconnaissance vehicles easily. Limited production due to competing priorities. Highly valued by crews. SDKFZ-263. Radio command vehicle. 8-wheeled chassis with fixed superstructure. Large frame antenna on roof. Around 240 built early war. Served mobile communications hub, coordinating panzer movements. Heavier radio equipment. Essential command and control asset. Vulnerable without offensive armament. Utility and light vehicles. Continuing with the utility vehicles that kept formations mobile and supplied. Volkswagen Kübelwagen. German equivalent of Jeep. Over 50,000 produced. Most common utility vehicle. Simple rear-wheel drive, air-cooled engine. Lightweight enabled crew lifting from mud. Reliable transportation for officers and messengers. Served every theater. Outperformed in off-road by 4-wheel drive Jeep. VW Schwimmwagen, amphibious Kübelwagen variant. Most mass-produced amphibious car in history, with 15,000 built. Featured bathtub hull and drop-down propeller. Could cross rivers and muddy bogs. 4-wheel drive unlike standard Kübelwagen. Essential for reconnaissance crossing water obstacles. Served until war's end. Steyr 1500A, rugged air-cooled heavy staff car. Austrian production, approximately 13,000 built. Favored by officers and commanders. Reliable in extreme temperatures, particularly North Africa and Russia. 4-wheel drive off-road capability. Served command and headquarters units throughout war. Mercedes-Benz G4, massive 6-wheeled luxury touring car. Approximately 72 built for high-ranking officials, often seen in propaganda films carrying Nazi leadership. More prestige symbol for parades than combat vehicle. Impressive appearance, limited military utility, rare and expensive production. BMW R75 heavy motorcycle with driven sidecar wheel. Specifically designed for military service, approximately 18,000 produced. Off-road traction from powered sidecar. Durable workhorse for dispatch riders and reconnaissance. Shaft drive, robust construction, reliable communication link for forward units. Logistics trucks, moving to the unglamorous trucks that kept armies moving and supplied. Opel Blitz, primary cargo truck with lightning bolt logo. Approximately 130,000 produced. Most common Wehrmacht truck. Reliable 3-ton capacity, simple maintenance. Carried ammunition, fuel, supplies, troops. Kept German supply lines functioning, served every theater. Essential but overlooked workhorse. Krupp Protzi, 6-wheeled light truck, nicknamed Boxer. Flat 4 engine, distinctive sloping hood. Around 7,000 produced for motorized infantry. Widely used towing light anti-tank guns. Also transported troops. Reliable early war logistics vehicle. Gradually replaced by standardized designs. Raupenschlepper Ost, RSO. Fully tracked tractor designed for Eastern Front. Slow moving, approximately 27,000 built. Traded speed for ability dragging artillery through deepest mud and snow. Brutal Eastern conditions necessitated specialized vehicle. Simple design, mass-produced. Saved countless guns from immobilization. Henschel 33, heavy six-wheeled truck. Entered service pre-war, approximately 22,000 built. Sturdy, strong load capacity. Hauled heavy equipment throughout conflict. Used engineering and supply units. Reliable workhorse for heavy transport requirements. Standard heavy truck, before specialized variants. Einheits diesel. Standardized diesel truck with six-wheel drive. Independent suspension provided exceptional off-road performance. Around 14,000 produced, various types. Mechanically complex, but capable. Fuel efficiency advantage over gasoline. Served supply columns and artillery transport. Engineering overcomplication typical German design. Specialized vehicles. Finally, the unique specialized vehicles serving specific tactical needs. Panzerwerfer 42, mobile rocket artillery. 10-barrel Nebelwerfer launcher on SDKFC 251 half-track chassis. Approximately 300 produced, 1943-1945. Terrifying shrieking rocket sound. Provided mobile saturation bombardment. Reloading time vulnerable period. Effective psychological weapon. Served Eastern and Western fronts. Karl Gerät, monstrous self-propelled siege mortar. Fired 2-ton 600mm shells. Only 6 built for toughest fortresses. Used at Sevastopol, Warsaw, other sieges. Required massive crew and crane support. Could penetrate thickest fortifications. Ultimate heavy artillery piece. Rarely deployed due to complexity. Goliath remote-controlled tracked mine. Nicknamed Beetle, approximately 7,500 produced. Carried 60-kilogram explosive charge. Guided by long control wire to drive under tanks or into bunkers. Often disabled by cutting wire. Height made detection easy. Interesting concept, limited battlefield success. From the inadequate Panzer I machine gun tanks of 1939 to the massive Jagdtiger tank destroyers of 1945, German armored vehicle development reflected both brilliant engineering and strategic desperation. The efficient StuG 3 assault gun proved Germany's most produced armored vehicle, while legendary Tigers struck terror despite tiny production numbers. Medium Panthers achieved technical excellence, but arrived too late in insufficient quantities. Clever conversions like Marders and Jagdpanzers extracted value from obsolete chassis. Half-tracks and utility vehicles enabled mobile warfare doctrine. Yet superior Allied production, strategic bombing, and dwindling resources meant even these 58 different vehicles could not prevent defeat. Quality and innovation ultimately yielded to overwhelming Allied industrial might and numerical superiority on every front.